Next on the 5 o'clock report.
This decision is lawless, dangerous.
The world is a dangerous place.
The only thing that is left is that they put me in jail.
China exploiting or blocking the canal.
We may not have good insight.
This was not the enemy.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Figuring out a federal funding freeze. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. Whether it's a true freeze depends on who you talk to. But for detractors of the Trump administration's pause on federal funding, which officially went into effect just moments ago, it's a disaster and then some.
This decision is lawless, dangerous, destructive, cruel. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York, not mincing words, but is it truly a freeze?
A senior Trump administration official says it's guidance for agencies to review whether grants and loans comply with recent executive orders, not a funding freeze.
That's Fox correspondent Lisa Brady. A busy day for new Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who began her day with a ride-along with immigration officers in New York City as they apprehended an illegal immigrant who's also accused of some serious crimes here, part of a promised crackdown on illegal immigration. Noem posted a video of the raid on social media.
Noem's video showed a handcuffed man being escorted out of a building early this morning by federal agents. The man who was arrested was wanted on charges including kidnapping, assault, and burglary, and is reportedly linked to the Tren de Aragua gang in Venezuela.
Then Noem addressed federal law enforcement agents.
The world is a dangerous place, and we've got dangerous, evil foreign governments that want to take us down. We will be the first line of defense for anybody that's in the American homeland.
Noem urged agents to protect America as, quoting here, the last light of freedom left. Among those waiting to see how far the deportation crackdown goes is Ecuadorian illegal immigrant Maria Morocho, who tells WSYR she and her family fled Ecuador in 2023 after facing extortion. Despite crossing into the U.S. illegally, she and her immigration attorneys say they've been processed as asylum seekers, and they check in with Syracuse immigration officers monthly. However, now she's being told to wear an ankle monitor.
Me molesta.
It's itchy, it beeps all the time, it wakes me up at night, it's crazy.
No, yo me siento que...
Yes, I feel like a criminal. The only thing that is left is that they put me in jail and then they send me and ship me back to my country.
Morocho says her 11 and 17-year-old kids have been afraid to attend Syracuse City schools since the increased enforcement began. Should America reassert control over the Panama Canal? That was the focus of a Senate hearing today.
President Trump has highlighted two key issues. Number one, the danger of China exploiting or blocking passage through the canal. And number two, the exorbitant costs for transit.
Senator Ted Cruz, who chaired that committee hearing today. The CDC has been ordered to stop working with the World Health Organization, or WHO, effective immediately. President Trump last week issued an executive order to begin the process of withdrawing the U.S. from WHO, but that did not take immediate effect. Dr. Celine Gounder has some concerns.
We may not have good insight into what is actually happening. We may not have those early warning systems. We may not be able to develop the right vaccine as quickly as we could and warn the American public as quickly as we could.
Leaving WHO requires congressional approval and that the U.S. meets its financial obligations to the organization for the current fiscal year. The U.S. also has to provide a one-year notice of withdrawal. A settlement concerning the 2023 train derailment that led to a toxic spill along the Ohio-Pennsylvania border.
The village of East Palestine and the Norfolk Southern Railroad have announced a $22 million agreement to settle all of the village's financial claims from a 2023 train derailment near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. The railroad has already paid the town more than $13 million to clean up toxic soil that resulted from the accident.
That's CBS's Jim Krasula. Remember all the furor over those mystery drones buzzing around New Jersey? A statement about that today from the White House.
After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt in her first time addressing the White House press corps today. Well, cover your ears, Bills fans, but for Eagles fans, tickets for Super Bowl 59 are cheaper than last year's big game. That's the good news. However, the bad news is they're still some of the most expensive in Super Bowl history. This year we'll see the Eagles face off against the Kansas City Chiefs in New Orleans, a rematch of Super Bowl 57. Average ticket prices right now about $8,000. $8,000. The cheapest ticket as of Monday, more than $5,700. Go team. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, tragedy rocks a Pennsylvania community this morning. The price of eggs really cracking some budgets, and we'll hear about a beacon of hope in Genesee County, New York.
We do anticipate enough snow to impact travel, so be alert. Our call for snow to arrive this evening to continue overnight into tomorrow. Amounts will vary. Less than an inch south of I-80 in Pennsylvania, an inch or two between I-80 and the Southern Tier Expressway in New York. Amounts increasing to several inches closer to Lake Ontario. Temperatures will be rising tonight toward 30 into the 30s tomorrow. Thursday, a couple of morning flurries, then some sun in the 30s. Look for snow, ice, and rain on Friday.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin Williams. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A Clearfield County, Pennsylvania community is mourning today the deaths of 2 high school students in a morning house fire in Lawrence Township. The Clearfield Area School District says senior Hunter and his brother Harley, a 10th grader, perished when flames broke out in their family home shortly after midnight. Fire officials say the boys' parents were able to escape the blaze, but the teens were found trapped on the second floor. The district says the boys were heavily involved in the district too, including the music programs. Hunter was a student at a local tech school. Counselors are being made available to students and staff there in Clearfield. Inflation and bird flu, twin problems behind the ongoing spike in the price of eggs. And it's a big problem for businesses that dish out a lot of eggs every day. Alton's restaurant in Cheektowaga, New York, among those feeling the pinch from severe eggflation.
We have eggs, omelets, pancakes, waffles, French toast. In the last 6 months, it's crazy. And it's every week now. Every week it has gone up and up and up and up.
General Manager Andrea Eric Hale tells WKBW the cost of a case of 30 dozen eggs that are sold to restaurants has gone from $50 to $220. Andrew Rex owns Rex Brothers Bakery in Erie, PA. He tells Jet TV.
We use eggs for just about everything, cookie doughs, and we serve breakfast and lunch all day. So, we go through a lot of eggs, 10 cases a week, 180 eggs per case.
The USDA projects retail egg prices will increase another 20% this year. Farm-level prices could go up closer to 50% this year. Dead geese found at Quarry Pond on Gettysburg College's campus have tested positive for bird flu. In a statement sent out to students, college officials urged them to stay away from the pond after the Pennsylvania Game Commission informed the college that the dead geese found there tested positive for H5N1. That's commonly known as bird flu. The virus is not easily transmissible to humans. A drive along I-190 along the Buffalo River shows a lot more ice than you'd normally see there after Monday's strong winds compromised the New York Power Authority's log and chain ice boom that's meant to keep most of the ice out. Did the boom go bust? The Power Authority's Lou Panessa tells WIVB maybe.
It's allowed to allow a certain amount of ice to go over top in a high wind event or a SAISH event and then pop back up and resurface. Can we tell if a piece is broken or not? Not really right now. When the boom resurfaces, we'll be able to tell if a section has broken free.
The boom is placed at the mouth of the Niagara River between there and Lake Erie every winter to keep that lake ice away from power intakes and to prevent ice jam flooding and shore erosion. The harsh winter weather we've been experiencing is a bigger deal for some than others. It has volunteers at the Monroe County, Pennsylvania Meals on Wheels program keeping a very close tab on the forecast since their clients rely on those meals making it through any weather. Executive Director Alyssa Koch tells WBRE.
If we need to, we can either pull some deliveries back, we can make sure clients have emergency bags, and we can just be as prepared as we possibly can. We know so many of them are on extremely limited fixed incomes, and that's where community support comes in.
Stacy Koch is the special events coordinator there.
Whether it's the heat of the summer, whether it's the cold now, walking through the unshoveled paths up to a client's house, they understand the importance of what they're doing.
The program assembles emergency bags with shelf-stable staples like soup and applesauce to distribute to clients for when weather makes regular hot meal deliveries impossible. The Monroe County Meals on Wheels program serves more than 300 homebound or disabled adults. All right, next, some highlights from today's noontime Hometown Heroes feature. An interview with Diane Saya, Executive Director of the Hope Center in Leroy, New York. That's a ministry offering diverse programs for people in Genesee County, from tutoring and respite care for senior caregivers to a ladies group and grief sharing. It's a little bit of a diverse set of things that you offer. How does it all kind of tie together?
Well, we want to meet in the middle of what the community needs and what we can do well. We are staffed by 5 women. We all work part-time, and we have a valuable asset in our team of volunteers. So if there's a need presented to us, we get together and decide if we can go in that direction. I mean, we don't want to spread ourselves too thin, which can happen, but sometimes you need to go outside the box to see if you can address a pressing need in the community.
And since you've been at the helm there, what have you seen as some of the most pressing needs there?
Well, what we keep hearing over and over from some of the parents is that they feel there's a need for something for the kids to do in the summer. So a future vision that we have is to create some sort of a kids club or something that they can do in the summer that teaches them life skills and sets them up for success. This would fit very well with what we're doing for kids in the tutoring and good news club. So that's a goal of ours. We're funded by grants and donations, and we also have fundraisers.
Your very name, Hope Center, really speaks to the lack of hope, whether it's for youth or adults. It's probably never been worse than it is right now, it seems.
I would have to agree with you, and I don't know that we can blame it on COVID like some people do, but it's hard to get people to call you back or answer your emails or deliver on what they say they're going to do. And at the Hope Center, even when the children come for tutoring, we want to make their parents feel welcome. We have coffee and tea set up, snacks for the kids. We even have a puzzle table in the corner of the waiting area for parents to just unwind. And we're always there to listen, to ask how their day went, and we actually wait for the answers. So we find that we can change the world one life at a time, and we like to do small things with great love, as Mother Teresa said.
When it all boils down, even though those programs are diverse, the common thread there, bringing hope, eventually comes back to Christ.
Absolutely. Our staff and our board of directors are people of faith. That being said, we offer help to anyone that's in need of our services. They're welcome to participate in our programs. You have to let what's in your heart flow out through your hands, and that's priority for us at the Hope Center. We want to give people hope that tomorrow can be a better day. We're here to help. Our website, it's hopecenterofleroy.org. We love to give tours, and we're also available to speak to any church groups or community organizations to share our vision.
Diane Saya with the Hope Center of Leroy, New York. Catch Hometown Heroes and all of our original features in podcast form through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or FamilyLife.org. All right, your nightly market report is up next, brought to you by Faithward Advisors. Wall Street closing stocks higher today. The NASDAQ did a nice rebound after shedding more than 3% of its value Monday over concerns about the Chinese-owned AI startup company. It all comes as the Federal Reserve wraps up its latest policy meeting tomorrow and is widely expected to leave interest rates unchanged. At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 136 points to 44,850. The S&P 500 rose 55 points to 6067, and the NASDAQ gained 391 points to 19,733. Faithward Advisors, a Christian financial planning firm helping faithful stewards do more. All the details are available at faithwardadvisors.com. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
A recruiter asks a job candidate, "How long were you in your last position?" The applicant replies, "My biggest weakness is my listening skills." Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. Preparing for tough questions is key to nailing an interview. For example, why do you want to leave your current job? You might explain how you can provide more value to a company, but your current employer doesn't have those opportunities right now. Use it as a chance to talk about your career goals. Here's another. What's your greatest weakness? You might say, "I sometimes say yes when I'm already maxed out work-wise," but then turn it positive by showing how you're learning to set priorities. And the most important thing you can do is pray for the right words to say, ending with, "Your will be done, Lord." Discover the best Christian financial articles, podcasts, and videos by visiting our website, faithfi.com, or by downloading FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store.
Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, the little block that could.
This young boy has such fun. He used Lego one by one.
Another round of snow is on the way, and although it won't be accompanied by strong winds and squalls as we saw in many areas overnight last night and early this morning, snow will be arriving tonight and will continue into Wednesday. Snow amounts will vary. Less than an inch in Pennsylvania near and south of I-80, an inch to 3 in areas between I-80 and the Southern Tier Expressway in New York, several inches farther north, especially in areas closer to Lake Ontario and through central New York. The high Wednesday in the 30s. Thursday, a couple of flurries and clouds break for some sun, the high in the 30s.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And finally, at 5 o'clock, we have this.
Hey, kids, look, Lego is here. A whole new world to build.
Happy Lego Day. If you've ever stepped on one barefoot, blame Ole Kirk Christensen. He's the Danish carpenter who in the 1930s invented Legos, Lego being from the Danish words leg and godt, meaning play well. And Legos played pretty well ever since. By 2017, the Lego empire surpassed the likes of Google, Nike, Ferrari, and Visa. One tiny block at a time. They crank out about 36 billion of those little blocks every year. The genius of Lego, the uniform design that allows nearly infinite reuse and possibilities. 2 8-stud Lego blocks can be combined 24 ways, and it goes up exponentially from there. Only 6 of the same bricks can be combined in over 900 million unique ways. One guy loved his Legos so much, he used over 3 million of them to build a real-life Lego house. Sure hope he didn't walk around barefoot in that place. And that's the world we live in for Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.